The question of environmental impact is a key discussion point that modern-day industries, especially the automotive industry, must have. Manufacturers like Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, Peugeot, and Skoda are expected by the European Commission to uphold their standards of environmental emissions testing in order to reduce the manufacturer's carbon footprint. These standards are a part of EU law and must be followed in order to combat climate change. Under the European Commission's policy for emission limits for the automotive industry, it is stated that EU laws set binding emissions target for new car and van fleets to help reduce the CO2 emissions of light-duty vehicles. This goes for heavy-duty vehicles also. However, they come with more severe emissions limits. As of September 1st, 2017, improvements were made to the emissions tests that were implemented in the real driving emissions test due to certain events from German-based automotive manufacturer Volkswagen. Between 2008 and 2015, Volkswagen were deceiving international air pollution testing set up by governments by purposefully programming certain Volkswagen and Audi onboard computers with a program called a defeat device. The defeat device was designed to cheat the numbers in order to pass environmental emission testing, despite the fact that the cars being tested were far from meeting government standards. This only affected diesel engines, being how they have a device in the exhaust system called a NOx trap. Its purpose is to absorb pollutants, primarily nitrogen oxide. The effect of a NOx trap are intensified when there is more unburnt diesel fuel in the device. The testing in question focused on measuring the emissions level of the exhaust system. The defeat device would send fabricated data to the car's computer that would make it seem as though the engine was performing to standard when in fact the cars were emitting over 40 times the amount of pollutants into the atmosphere. Volkswagen's ethical wrongdoing stem from its misinformation of the customer and stakeholders through means of deception. On the 29th of September 2015, S&P, Dow Jones Indices, and RobocoSAM stated that Volkswagen's AG stock will be delisted from the Dow Jones Sustainability Indexes after close of trading on the 5th of October 2015. In a statement issued by RobocoSAM, they cited social and ethical reasons for the delistings. On top of this, Volkswagen announced in a press release that as part of its response to the scandal, Martin Winterkorn was to stand down as active CEO of Volkswagen on the 25th of September 2015, where Matthias Müller would replace him. Müller's ethical reflection on the company's actions in the press release revolved mainly around regaining the trust of the people, where he said, "My most urgent task is to win back the trust of the Volkswagen Group." Volkswagen's deception tactics to their own customers and stakeholders closely reflects the ethical framework of egoism, in that Volkswagen were acting entirely for their own gain. In this instance, at the expense of the customer and stakeholder. This doesn't reflect the utilitarian/Kantian ethics mirrored in the Volkswagen's Code of Ethics. When holding Volkswagen's actions up to the TERS test, it doesn't pass any point. It fails truthfulness due to the level of deceitful actions done, authenticity because Volkswagen knew about the software, respect due to how the information the defeat device gathered in the test was knowingly fraudulent, equity due to the customer/stakeholders not knowing of the software's installation and programming capabilities, and social responsibilities due to how it goes against the utilitarian ethics that are mirrored in Volkswagen's own Code of Ethics. Das Auto.